This video is about representation agreements as a legal tool for supported decision-making. The video is presented by the NIDIS Personal Planning Resource Center and Registry. NIDIS is a non-profit, charitable organization that promotes alternatives to adult guardianship. NIDIS provides education and facilitation with representation agreements and other personal planning tools in British Columbia. NIDIS does not give legal advice. NIDIS also operates a centralized registry for planning documents in partnership with JurCert Incorporated, a program of the Law Society of BC. The photos in this video are of models. The examples and situations described are not about the models or their lives. This video tells the story of Bruce, who has a developmental or intellectual disability. But the information provided is also relevant to others who may need help now, today, with making decisions and managing their own affairs. For example, someone with dementia or a survivor of a brain injury or stroke. Let's meet Bruce. Bruce is 49 years old. He lives in a group home. He likes hockey, photography, and going to his day program. Bruce communicates mostly through his behavior and gestures. His mom helps others understand his communication. Bruce is a survivor of the Woodlands Institution and may be eligible for compensation for abuse experienced when he lived there. On his own, Bruce would not be able to request records or instruct a lawyer to prepare his claim, and he would not satisfy the requirements for signing a settlement. Bruce's mom cannot help him with these matters unless she has legal authority. In British Columbia, the age of majority is 19, and this means parental rights end at 19. Someone suggested Bruce's mom apply to court to become Bruce's legal guardian, but she heard that a representation agreement is an alternative to court. At the same time, Bruce's mom is having some health issues. What will happen if she no longer can support Bruce? Is legal guardianship the answer? Let's find out. Committeeship is the term used in British Columbia to refer to adult guardianship. The Patients Property Act is the law which governs committeeship. Committeeship applies when an adult needs help with decision making and no one has legal authority to help, and the adult is determined mentally incompetent. Often informal help is all people need. However, sometimes informal help is not enough, and someone needs legal authority. In that case, someone, usually a family member, can apply to the Supreme Court to be appointed the adult's committee. Or the public guardian and trustee, a state official, can become committee of the adult's finances and legal affairs through a medical certificate of incapability. Committeeship or adult guardianship is based on a philosophy rooted in old understandings of capability and a theoretical view of decision making. Traditionally, the law has looked at adults as either mentally competent or incompetent. The law looks at it as all or nothing. And if an adult is incompetent, then someone else has to take over his or her decision-making rights. The duty of a substitute is to do what they think is best for the adult. Under the old approach, a competent adult is expected to make decisions all on his or her own. Committeeship is a legal procedure whereby someone takes over the adult's decision-making rights when the adult is declared incompetent. So in Bruce's case, where he can't make all decisions all on his own, committeeship is a way Bruce's mom can obtain legal authority. But how does this affect Bruce? If Bruce's mom or the public guardian and trustee becomes Bruce's committee, Bruce loses his civil or citizenship rights. He is a non-person.
Bruce is no longer recognized under the law as having decision-making rights. Perhaps Bruce can manage his spending money, but if his mom or the public guardian trustee becomes his comité, they take over all of his affairs. This is called plenary authority. In law, only the comité's signature or consent matters, not Bruce's. And with committeeship, Bruce must live with the label of being deemed mentally incompetent. Bruce will likely have a comité in charge of his affairs for the rest of his life because committeeship is difficult to reverse. In the late 1980s, a grassroots community movement in British Columbia formed to create an alternative to committeeship. The community wanted to create a new law to reflect how people make decisions in practice, to provide people with support when needed without taking away their rights, and to recognize and enhance people's capabilities, not focus on their disabilities. Let's create a new picture, a new philosophy where capability is not all or nothing. There is no universal definition of capability. It depends on many things, including the type of decision, even the time of day, and especially whether you have help available. In practice, decision making is on a continuum. We may need more help with certain decisions and less help with others. In daily life, we all make decisions interdependently, that is, with support, especially for major issues. Just imagine if you were in a serious accident, you're in hospital, you're in pain, you're disoriented, you're confused, and the doctor comes by to give you some information and ask you for a decision. And you're trying to understand and participate in the decision making, but it's hard. You probably want somebody to help you. And supported decision making occurs when someone you have a personal relationship with listens to you and pays attention to what you are communicating. They use their knowledge of you to discuss information with you and your choices. They check with you and maybe with others to ensure they're correctly perceiving your wishes and preferences, feelings, and beliefs. And they're helping you choose between options, helping you to communicate and carry out your decision and deal with the consequences. The result of BC's law reform is the Representation Agreement, a legal document in BC governed by the Representation Agreement Act. It's an agreement between an adult and his personal supporters. It gives legal authority to personal supporters to help the adult make decisions and manage his affairs. Most important, it does not take away Bruce's rights. Who can make a representation agreement? Anyone who is 19 years or older and a resident of British Columbia. The Representation Agreement Act states that an adult may make a representation agreement with standard powers even if she cannot manage her own affairs or make decisions independently. There is no upfront test of competency in order to make a representation agreement with standard powers. And something important to Bruce, the Representation Agreement Act states that the way an adult communicates is not a factor in determining if the adult may make a representation agreement. What if Bruce were to make a representation agreement? If we represent this in a circle of support, Bruce would be at the center. The agreement belongs to him. Bruce's mom is next in the circle to him. And Bruce has an older brother, Andrew. Andrew lives in another city, but Bruce and Andrew always go on an annual fishing trip in the summer. They are devoted to each other. And Bruce is getting to know his niece better. She shares his interest in photography. She's going to university nearby, and she is teaching Bruce how to download photos on the computer. And Bruce and his mom consider their neighbor and longtime friend, Nancy, part of their family. The representation agreement embodies the new philosophy. If Bruce's mom and his brother were his representatives, they would have legal authority to help him with the Woodlands claim. And that's the kind of decision that Bruce might need more help with. His representatives could gather the paperwork, talk to the lawyer, access records, and then report back to Bruce. For other decisions, Bruce would need less help. For example, Bruce has made it clear that he wants to get a new camera. He doesn't need help making that decision, but he does need help doing his banking. The representatives can use the representation agreement to help Bruce talk to an advisor at his local branch about ways he could increase his savings in order to buy the camera. The representation agreement only has to come out of the drawer when someone needs legal authority to help Bruce. The legal duties of a representative are to support Bruce to make his own decisions. If you would like to find out more about making a representation agreement, visit the NIDIS website at www.nidis.ca. You will find fact sheets, publications, feature stories, and other resources, and you can sign up for the NIDIS newsletter to stay informed.
NIDIS is grateful to the following funders who provided one-time grants for public education projects, including this video: the Law Foundation of British Columbia, the Notary Foundation of BC, the Vancouver Foundation, Community Living BC, and the Rick Hansen Foundation. Please note that any views expressed in this video may not be shared by the funders. We hope you have found this video helpful. Please visit the NIDIS website where you will find more resources, and sign up for the NIDIS newsletter so you can stay connected.